about the question of why.
Right.
Why am I watching all this shit?
Right.
It's not about the shit.
Right. Yeah.
It's about me. It's the why we, and when I say we, I mean people just like you and me, mostly white, upper middle class, obscenely well educated, doing really interesting jobs, sitting in really expensive chairs, watching the best, most sophisticated electronic equipment money can buy. Why do we feel so empty and unhappy?
Right.
We're gonna have to develop some real machinery inside our to turn off pure unalloyed pleasure, or I don't know about you, I'm gonna have to leave the planet. Because the technology is just gonna get better and better, and it's gonna get easier and more convenient and more pleasurable to sit alone with images on a screen given to us by people who do not love us but want our money. And that's fine in low doses. But if it's the basic main staple of your diet, you're gonna die. In a very meaningful way, you're going to die. I am telling you that this was not a lost weekend sort of thing, nor was it some lurid, romantic, writer's alcoholic sort of thing. What it was a 28-year-old person who had really exhausted a couple other ways to live, really taken them to their conclusion, which for me was a pink room with a drain in the center of the floor, which is where they put me for an entire day when they thought that I was going to kill myself. Where I got nothing on, I observing me through a slot in the wall. And when that happens to you, you become tremendously, just unprecedentedly willing to examine some other alternatives for how to live. Just achieve X and Y and see that everything will be okay. There's a thing in the book about how when somebody leaps from a burning skyscraper, it's not that they're not afraid of falling anymore, it's that the alternative is so awful. And so then you're invited to consider what could be so awful that leaping to your death would seem like an escape from it. I don't know if you have any experience of this kind of thing, but it's worse than any kind of physical injury. And maybe in the old days what was known as a spiritual crisis. I don't think that we ever change.